Ladies and gents, it's real. The 15th wish has been revealed, and with it, an amazing cutscene that I'm not going to show you. We'll have it later in this video. I just want you to know, spoilers, and we'll give you another spoiler alert when we get there. Now, as far as I know, this is the season finale, and everything is tied to the Imbaru engine. Now, for my folks that don't believe that this has anything to do with the 15th wish, Bungie literally dropped the final season of Destiny's name right here just earlier with a tweet that says, "Congratulations to those who have solved the final puzzle of the Imbaru engine. Season of the Wish arrives on November 28th. Until then, O guardian mine." So yeah, guys, you're gonna want to jump in on this mission. Now, in this video, I'm gonna start with the fourth and final room of the Imbaru engine, as we've already put out guides for rooms 1 through 3, but we'll have them also in this video toward the end here, and I'll have timestamps if you're just now freshly starting the Imbaru engine. But for the rest of my folks that have been keeping up with everything week to week, let's jump right into it. First, when getting into the game, you're going to want to load into Altars of Summoning. The reason for this is that we need to get that final Opaque card, which will be present here. Now, when you actually load in, guys, go to your right, and it's going to be on top of a pillar near the back of the room. Again, not hard to miss it. You can literally see it as you come up to it, but grapple or jump up to it, interact, and now we're going to go to the helm and head to the Lectern Divination. Now, when we get to the Lectern, we need to claim the card, which is ironically called a parting gift. Now we head to the Imbaru engine. Now keep in mind, guys, if you have not done rooms 1 through 3 like ever, then you can't go to the top, which is what we're essentially doing right here. If you have done rooms 1 through 3 though, you'll continue making your way all the way to the top, as you'll be able to interact with the doorways, open them up, and then proceed past these spiky columns, jump up each one of these lifts, and then when you make it up to the top, instead of proceeding up into that area, which is the third room, you simply just want to go through the portal to the left of that room. Now when you enter, you'll see in the middle there that hive glow, and it'll say to attune with the braziers. Upon doing so, you can now interact with those 3 podiums that surround the platform that you were just standing on. Now, you're actually not able to rekindle the flame here, as it will simply state, "This flame burns with the mist below," another saying that this flame burns within the halls of the Spire, and the last one saying, "This flame burns within the Altars of Summoning." Guys, these are 3 different locations, and you're gonna have to go to each of these activities and find a green flame to collect. Now, there's one present here in Imbaru engine, but we could save that one for last when we come back. The other one is in Savathun Spire, with the third and last one being in Altars of Summoning. Now, it really doesn't matter which one you do first, but let's start with Altars of Summoning. When you first spawn in, you want to head straight toward that big giant door. Now, this door will be locked, but to the right, there will be a deep site to interact with. And pretty much these deep sites are close to where the flame is. Now, when you interact, it will spawn some platforms, jump all the way up, and a green flame will be there that you'll be able to grab. Now, the second one is in Savathun Spire. This one takes a little bit longer. You do not have to do the legend version of Savathun Spire. You can just do the normal version, but progress through the activity like normal until you get to the final jumping puzzle. Now, again, this is after the first and second encounter, right before the boss encounter, but you want to head through that first portal. And if you've done this activity, you're very familiar with this area, but jump across, guys, and you'll get to the next set of portals looking downwards. Then you jump through this portal and just keep taking these lifts until you get to the top, dodge more traps, and you'll see this big platform on the back here. Now, this is right before the boss room. Like, you have those portals there in front of you. Instead of you going up there and going through those portals, you want to actually stop. Look at the deep sight that's on this platform, interact with it, and then proceed to jump to each of these platforms. Now, you'll go around essentially this entire tower, but upon going all the way around, you'll see this green flame that you can interact with. Now, on to the third and final flame. We're going to load back into the Imbaru engine, follow the path up to the first room, activate this deep sight, and you'll see the platforms will spawn, and essentially just follow the platforms and grasp that last flame. Now, on to the fun stuff. Head back through the doors and follow the path to the top of the engine again, make your way all the way up there to the 3 podiums, and now you'll be able to interact with them, essentially allowing you to rekindle the flames. This will then open up a new room with a very complicated puzzle that many folks spent this afternoon trying to solve. Now, I'm not going to get into how to solve it. Essentially, though, it plays in the whole 2 lies and a truth, and you have to go through each room in this entire Imbaru engine, collecting data points for all of these hive rooms. And essentially, when you interact, you'll notice some of these hive rooms have triangles or circles on them. Now, luckily here, you don't really have to know how to do any of this. Matter of fact, if you look at this little diagram that was actually shared with me, this shows you exactly which hive runes you need to interact with. Again, interact with that console in the middle, and then you'll have to go to each one of these rooms and modify your tribute tributes. This will literally light them on fire, which is essentially that same green flame. Again, this is the diagram here, guys, and I like to just start here just left of that triangle rune, and then I proceed to move clockwise. Now, if this confuses you, again, just follow the diagram and you just count the runes there. So for instance, the first rune that you interact with, which is just left of where you interact to put your code in, that's 4. Then you go over 3 more to 7, and then 8, then on to 10, then 12, 15, and 16. Now, upon doing that, you then go to the activation symbol and submit your final tribute. Now, you'll know you're successful when you see the text that says Savathun recognizes your cunning. If you're not successful, you'll die. Now, upon unlocking this next room, head on in and you'll see it right here. And again, fellas, spoilers. I don't want to go any further for my folks that want to experience this for the first time. With that being said, though, I can't keep it in. Hamkara? That's an egg. That is a Hamkara egg in the flesh that dear old Savathun left for us. Now, again, my lord people are probably blowing up right now. This is going to change literally everything. Now, the reason why this is so important is upon finishing this, listening to the dialogue, there will be a cutscene. So don't back out. You'll receive a shader, an emblem, and some weapons. But the final cutscene, that's the big one. And you'll see your guardian talking with Ikora. It turns out our guardian has been working on the 15th wish. That's right, guys. This combination is supposed to work as the 15th wish. Now, did we try it? Yes, we've actually tried multiple combinations. Nothing worked. TLDR, it's probably time gated. Don't you love it? But this is definitely setting things up for next season. And you see from like the lore implications of this, because you can actually go back to the helm and listen to some audio there. But it appears we're going to be able to enter the Traveler in some way due to this Hamkara egg and the 15th wish. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think. I like the shader. I wish we would have gotten like an exotic. Maybe the puzzle wasn't hard enough. Normally, if it's like a puzzle that goes on for like a day, maybe a couple days, we get an exotic that's tied to it. I love those kind of things. Didn't happen here though, but it's a great setup for next season. Now, for my folks that just want to do the Imbaru engine fresh, again, we've got timestamps here, but we're going to start with room 1. It started with us revealing the path. Just follow the diamond and activate the elevators up to Imbaru's engine. You then begin the test by interacting with the hive ritual at the center of the Imbaru engine. Now, this starts the test of cunning. This test requires you to open a handful of chests marked with the Imbaru-like symbol, which is this one right here. Now, after you open the first chest, you'll need to open 2 more Imbaru chests higher up in the room at the diamond. Now, you'll know the chest is the correct one when the symbol is either next to the chest or near it, or points in the direction of the chest. You can actually see it right here, guys. Literally an arrow pointing to the chest. So even though it may like be above that chest, look to where it's pointing. Now, after opening those, you'll then have to open 3 more, which are hidden within the room. Now, it's easy to tell if you open the right chest or not, guys, as when opening the correct one, you'll get a notification at the bottom left hand of your screen that says you display your cunning. However, when you open the wrong one, it states that you strengthen Savathun's Imbaru, which actually results in you dying. Now, don't worry about it, guys. If you mess up and you open literally every single chest until you hit the right ones, you're not gonna mess this up. But upon successfully doing this room, you'll see the text at the bottom left in your screen state you have conjured cunning, which will simply just give you some rep and a seasonal weapon. Now, this is where there's some confusion. There's some people saying that they didn't actually have to do the chest portion to open this door in front of you. We simply came in and immediately interacted with the hive ritual, did the chest like we normally did before moving on to the next area. What I do know for certain is that you cannot open that door unless you have activated the gift of strength. With that being said, Jared actually said that he was able to go right into the next room without doing those chests. Now, when you go through this door, you want to turn left and make your way up the hallway, dodge the spike traps, and then go up to the elevator to reach the next part of the engine. Now, there will be a portal up here, but don't go through it. It literally just brings you to the beginning of the engine room. Instead, you want to head through the door that opened. This is where the test of strength begins. Now, to begin this test, you interact with the hive goop on the ground with a notification that pops up that says, prove your strength. Now, a bunch of knights and cursed thrall will appear, but don't worry about it. You don't have to kill them. They're literally going to be sitting on these small platforms, which are scattered throughout this area. This is a puzzle, guys. Now, the puzzle essentially wants you to kill the correct enemies, and there is a particular order here. If you kill the wrong enemy, you will die. and it will wipe the encounter, starting you over in this area. Now, to actually solve this puzzle, you first want to interact with the deep sign in the room. This will reveal footprints that lead to where the puzzle begins, which will be at this knight. Kill the knight that those steps lead to, and then proceed to follow the direction each platform is pointing at until you get to another enemy. So first you're going to kill the knight, his platform points in the direction of another knight, kill him, and then it'll be pointing to the next knight, which will be on the other side of the wall underneath the shrieker. Now you'll notice that his platform points in the direction that leads into the next room. Now the platform it points to is to this cursed thrall here. Now this is where things change. Once you kill this cursed thrall, you want to continue following the path, but skipping an enemy from here on out. So for example, you kill the first cursed thrall here, then you skip the knight in front of you, but go where that plate tells you where to go, which will take you to this cursed thrall here. But after killing that cursed thrall, you then skip the next plate, but still go where it wants you to go, then kill the next target, then skip, and essentially guys, you're leapfrogging every other enemy until you reach the end. It's really not overly difficult, guys. Just make sure when you get to the cursed thrall portion here, it's every other enemy that you kill, starting with that first cursed thrall. Now, it's completely fine if you do wipe, and keep in mind, even if you wipe, you don't have to reactivate deep sight every single time. You can literally just go straight to the enemy that you have to kill. The deep sight is just there for you to show you where you need to start. Now for the third and final room. This room is actually really easy. You're gonna jump in, guys, and I would suggest having hardline on, as you can cycle through all the elements. But essentially, you need to shoot the door with the correct rune. Now it's the same door every single time, but if you're just trying to do it for yourself, literally just look at the door that you're standing at, see both the element of the rune and the placement of the rune. Then proceed to turn around, shoot the correct rune, and then go through the portal of that door. Now this is pretty straightforward for the first two. You've got arc, then solar, but then it moves to void. Now notice, this room is a little more confusing. Visually, everything is all over the place, but if you move forward directly in front of you, you'll see that there are runes behind these other runes. And the third rune you're gonna have to shoot is the one on the right that is void. Shoot that one, then go through the portal. And then the final rune is a solar rune. Simply go to the door directly to the right of where you're standing and shoot this solar rune that is directly in front of you. And that's it, guys. That is the third room of the Imbaru engine. So fellas, that is our complete guide to the Imbaru engine. I had some people saying before that they wish I would have complete guides like this without it being like fragmented and broken up between steps 1 and 2 and then 3 by itself. I wish we could do that too, but considering how content is rolled out in Destiny, everything is always time gated. That's why these guides kind of come out in these trickles, but hopefully this guide helped you right here. If it did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you're new around here, subscribe, guys. We make Destiny content pretty much every day. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.